What if I spoke with George Zimmerman a day before he encountered Trayvon Martin? What if I asked him why African Americans are seen more as a threat than white people? What if I was able to change his perspective a day before he decided to kill a 17-year-old boy? You see, when we think of gangs, the first thing that comes to mind is a violent group of misfits. And over time, we have grown this assumption that African Americans are associated with these gangs and gang-like activities. However, when looking through a psychological lens, you'll notice that there are groups such as political parties, fraternities, and sororities that do the same exact thing, but with a different title. So when assuming a group of African Americans are a part of these gangs, we need to first look into the factors that play into the question, why do people join groups? So oftentimes when people join these groups, they seek different needs. Needs that they feel will help them survive. Needs that can be found on a 5-level structure called Maslow's pyramid. And though there are 5 levels to this pyramid, the basic and psychological needs can be found on the first 3. You see, level 1 suggests the physiological needs. This may include food, water, or a place to rest. And if these needs are not met, this can be due to them being jobless, homeless, or they simply cannot afford it. Advancing on to level 2, which suggests the safety needs. Oftentimes when we think of a group, we think of a sisterhood or brotherhood that will protect each other no matter the consequences. And though the definition of safety need is protection from a high crime rated neighborhood, this can apply to both college life and political parties. You see, within sororities and fraternities, you have those who rely on their own peers and their own company for help. Little will they ask for help outside of their group. In a political aspect, you have those who are Democrat and Republicans who carry their own political beliefs along with their own political views. And within these groups, those who are Democrat and Republicans rely on their own political leaders to protect these rights and to protect these beliefs. And if these are not met and they're not benefiting from this, they will attack and retaliate until their justice has been served. Finally, we come to the love and belonging need, which suggests the affiliation with others and acceptance by others. According to the LAPD, to the majority of the gang members, the gang functions as an extension of the family. So in comparison, for college students, they join these fraternities and sororities during their freshman year in order to feel more inclusive and welcomed as they adjust to this new environment. On a political aspect, the love and belonging need comes through the actions being represented by the political leaders, such as doing what they promised or winning the election to becoming not only a leader for them, but for all. So another reason why somebody may be affiliated with these groups is because they admire the way they act or behave. They may feel like they fit in well with these groups and will continuously act the way they do. This is through the act of conformity. And though there are different types of conformity, the cognitive learning is the primary reason why. Though there are different types of conformity, the normative is the primary reason why people join these groups. You see, the normative is the most dominant form of conformity. It is the want or need to fit in with other people. Oftentimes, people in new environments or have grown up without the support that they have hoped for conform to these groups that attract their interest. They conform to these lifestyles, they conform to these actions, they conform to these behaviors. In our nation today, 38% of African American children live in poverty within our communities. So typically around the age 13 to 15, boys will understand the family culture that gangs have to offer. This causes us to long for the attention that is due to the neglect caused by family members and or peers. So when we come to the question, why are we so quick to place African Americans in gangs and not with groups that are just as similar, we often say, that's just how it is. We don't look for why we think this way. Rather, we simply go with what we know and wait for somebody else to figure it out. So behind these assumptions, we do not realize why we think the way we do. And the truth is, we have all been conditioned. Conditioned to think a certain way, conditioned to believe a specific ethnic group is associated with these gangs. And though there are different types of conditioning, the cognitive learning is the main reason why we think the way we do. You see, the cognitive learning is a learned information by someone else. It influences someone to think or behave the way they do. You see, in relation to gangs, many people feel uncomfortable being seen with a group of African Americans by what they hear on social media or hear from other people. So through this type of conditioning, the way we explain information is fragile because we never know who might have the heart to imitate it. So given that we've been conditioned to think this way, this changes the way we perceive others. And through the multiple conditionings people go through, our perceptions have not changed. In Jacksonville, Florida, 17-year-old Jordan Davis was shot and killed by Michael Dunn for playing very loud music in the car with his friends. And what is all common about these perceptions is that it is being learned by someone or something around them. Our initial impressions and judgments are influenced and biased by a person's physical appearance. And it forms our perceptions and used to describe someone by what we believe is true, thus causing us to categorize African Americans to be associated with these gangs. So through the misconceptions caused by our perceptions, we have categorized and stereotyped those associated with their own groups to be a part of these gangs. So, in order to change the way we think, I believe we should provide education to the kids, to teach them about love and acceptance, to teach them about those who are different than us, to teach them what is being conditioned: ignorance. You see, kids' minds develop around the time they're in middle school. So I believe that ethnic studies should be a part of a middle school to high school education. And since majority of the time kids are spending their time at school, teachers play a huge role on a child's life. So I think it's part of the teachers to start teaching kids about love and acceptance for those who are different than us, to not sugarcoat the past, so rather than being closed-minded, we must be critical thinkers, to not easily be manipulated by others, to not simply accept conclusions, rather critique the underlying reasons, to recognize our own strengths and weaknesses of our own point of views, and to welcome good questions to clarify our thinking. If we become critical thinkers, we can grow a sense of empathy and compassion to better our world. So what if George Zimmerman challenged his biases? What if he wasn't easily manipulated? What if he didn't simply accept conclusions? What if he recognized his own weaknesses of his own point of views? What if he welcomed good questions? If George Zimmerman was a critical thinker, Trayvon Martin would be 23. Trayvon Martin would be making career moves. Trayvon Martin would graduate college. Trayvon Martin would be in love. Trayvon Martin would have lived. Thank you.